A fleet of boats, including two 46-foot custom-built catamarans, were deployed to ferry workers to and from the many destinations around Hong Kong. The arrival and departure of dredger crews became a regular sight at Hong Kong's existing airport, Kai Tak. By the time the project wound up to speed, over 500 ship's personnel were moving between Europe and Hong Kong on a regular basis. Chek Kok is composed of fresh and decomposed granite. To flatten the hills and extend the land surface within schedule, the contractors had to drill, blast, excavate and truck up to 5 kilometers distant 220,000 tons of material a day. This required the use of 70 trucks. On the marine side, to minimize settlement, the engineer opted for the removal of the mud and clay strata up to a cone penetration test value of 500 kilopascals. This meant that the mud dredging depth would not be constant and could vary between 5 and 27 meters. Working to great accuracy for both burrow and dump areas was possible using TTPS equipment. Displays not only showed precise navigation data, but draghead depth as related to seabed depth and other important information. Mud dumping sites were specified by the Hong Kong government and selected to have minimum impact on the environment. Chek Kok Marine Joint Venture operated 4 survey launches with 20 surveyors to ensure that dredging was carried out according to specification. For the crews working and living aboard the dredgers, accommodation, catering and recreational facilities were of the highest order. Each dredger had 3 complete crews, 2 working aboard in Hong Kong and 1 on vacation in Europe. Shifts ran 8 hours on, 8 hours off, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In shallow areas where large trailer dredgers couldn't venture, cutter suction dredgers were used to pump mud via pipeline into a previously dredged rehandling pit, where it could be picked up by trailer dredgers. These vessels, which use anchors for maneuvering, are equipped with huge cutters which can accurately trim the final profile of the demudded area. In demudded areas where seabed stability was in doubt, the site was blanketed by bottom dumping from landfill on shore or other external sources. In the initial stages of the project, marine sand was brought in by trailer dredgers from burrow areas and pumped ashore. However, as the project progressed, it was found that dumping sand into a rehandling pit, then pumping it ashore by cutter suction dredger was more efficient. A technique called rainbowing, spraying sand directly from a trailer dredger, was also used. Some of the ships involved in the project included the Lelystad, owned by Ballast Needham with a capacity of 10,000 cubic meters, the Volvox Hansa, owned by Van Oord ACZ with 8,000 cubic meters capacity, the Geopotes 15, owned by Ham Dredging, which can carry 9,000 cubic meters, the Coronaut, owned by Blankevort with 2,500 cubic meters capacity, the Prins de Nederlanden, owned by Boskalis International, which can carry 9,000 cubic meters, the Regal Star, owned by Dragomar, with a capacity of 6,000 cubic meters, and the largest trailer dredger in the world at the time, the JFJ de Nul, owned by Jan de Nul NV, which can carry nearly 12,000 cubic meters. On a project of this scale involving different disciplines and different contractors, meticulous planning and coordination was required. Thousands of documents were generated every month, resolving the many contractual and logistical problems. This was also not the first time that Hong Kong needed a new airport. Between the 1920s and 1950s, Hong Kong had a small airport at Kai Tak, which served the colony's regional aviation needs. However, in the post-war years, larger and heavier intercontinental aircraft required longer runways. In August 1955, the Hong Kong government signed a contract to build a completely new 7,200-foot runway which extended into the sea at Kai Tak. The new runway required extensive dredging and reclamation, and although this work was undertaken 4 decades before the Chek Kok project, the technology used was very similar. 2 large bucket dredgers were towed in from Europe. One was used to demud the seabed and the other to bring in much-needed sand from a nearby borough area. This vessel, with its open bridge, was typical of dredgers used at the time. The sea wall was constructed from dressed granite slabs quarried from a nearby site. The contract was completed in 36 months, and the new runway was officially opened on the 12th of September 1958. It was not long before the first passenger jet aircraft, Comet, landed in Hong Kong. The master plan for the new airport at Chek Kok calls for 2 runways operating 24 hours a day with an ultimate capacity of 87 million passengers a year. The Provisional Airport Authority had to consider not only aircraft currently in operation, but those proposed for the future as well. There are already working designs for a new breed of jet aircraft capable of carrying 800 passengers or more. And to cope with this probability, Hong Kong's new airport will be supported by infrastructure which can move passengers efficiently from the terminal to the city by railway and road. When the APCJV land operations had moved nearly 40 million cubic meters of rock and soft material, and the marine section 100 million cubic meters of mud and sand, a small ceremony was held. Taoist priests presided over the event, which included evoking spiritual entities to ensure good feng shui. There were plenty of firecrackers to chase away evil spirits, and a large number of roast pigs were consumed. Nearly everyone got caught up in the festivities. Paper boats were set afloat, evoking the blessing of Tin Hao, the goddess of the seas and patron to sailors and fishermen. Each ship was individually blessed to ensure good fortune and, above all, safety. As the months passed, Chek Kok's landscape changed dramatically. Gone were the small hills and valleys, the vistas had become flatter and more desert-like. And as the island expanded into deeper water, it was possible for the larger dredgers to operate very close to the shoreline.